Been sitting here this morning. First of all, welcome everybody. Thank you for tuning into my channel. I've been sitting here this morning watching Cinnamon Stitches as she puts together a sweater that looks like it's going to be great. I thought I ought to get on here and say something to you about tension and chain stitches. What do you think? Some of you know how to crochet, probably most of you that tune into the channel. But some of you don't. So maybe I can offer a little perspective on it. Let me get this turned around here. Here we go. Okay. There are several ways that you can gauge your tension, that you can keep control of your tension. Not so much gauging it, but controlling it. One is keep your finger up here on top of your hook. Another is to hold onto the fabric. Now, as your fabric gets bigger, that gets easier to do, obviously. Let me get this camera sitting up here right. But there's other ways. How you wrap the yarn around your fingers. Or you can get a device like this ring, which I don't use because I find them a little bit cumbersome, but some people like them. I mean, a lot of people like them. They're supposed to, I'm not sure I'm even wearing it right, gauge, help you hold on to your tension by just helping hold on to the yarn. So I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to look like a fool in here in a second because I don't know how to use this thing. They're uncomfortable for me to use. But it's time for me to get out of my comfort zone. What do you think? So, let's try this. We're going to work on some chain stitches. And that's already too tight. See? This is going to take a lot of practice for me. So, there are those of you out here that know how to use these rings and use them regularly. I'm not one of those people. But tension, proper tension, consistent tension is more like it, will give you consistent chains. You see how consistent those are? Those are beautiful chains. And how you can tell whether or not your tension is right on your chaining is pull that. Look how I've got the hook now. Hold upside down to come through here. But if you can feel that the sides of the stitch, sides of the yarn, raking against that hook, then you're probably okay. It's also visual. You're going to look at it and see if the stitch isn't too large, like that. Let me get them turned over here. This yarn's been used a couple of times already. But those are not bad. But the whole thing starts with your chain. This is your foundation. For most of what you're going to crochet in your life, this is your foundation. And if you don't get this right, none of the rest of that project will be right. Now, I'm going to show you something. You can get your chains way too tight, and I'm going to tighten up here. See, it just throws the whole look of them off. Or you can get them way too loose and do the same thing. And they get all loose and sloppy. See? They have a pretty shape, but when you go to do something with them, they're just too loose and too sloppy. I'm going to chain that. I'm going to frog that back. That went too far. But the whole point to crocheting is to create, correct? You got an affinity for yarn and you like the idea of making something, creating something with your own two hands. Well, the thing is, you got to learn to do it right to start with. There you are. That's a set of decent looking chains to start a project. There are tension gauges, and there's other ways. You may not, you need to control your tension, but you can crochet tighter than somebody else or looser than somebody else and still get the job done, and done beautifully. That's where your gauge comes in, and we'll do gauges later. But if you do a swatch, it'll help you gauge how tense or how loose you crochet. And that'll tell you what you need to do for the pattern that you're working. I'm working on a schedule to do tutorials for beginners, absolute beginners, intermediate, and advanced students. So keep a watch out. I'm going to go through all the beginner stuff first. And this is where we start. Okay, let me get that out of the way. With a pretty set of chains. From this, we're going to learn to make all kind of different things. Something this wide, you could make a washcloth. You could start the basis of a scarf. You can do an awful lot with something just this wide, and I haven't even counted the number of chains. We'll get into chain counting as well. Learn right now. Get it in your head. Learn to count your stitches. Not in every pattern will it be important, but in some, it's extremely important. And you really need to get a handle on that now, early in your career. Okay. And that's all I wanted to talk about today was tension. And see, I've already got it off of that ring. I can hardly stand it. But if you can stand one of these little guides, it's only a guide, and it will help keep your tension in check. I just personally like to have it around my finger because I can feel it better. I'm not fast, so we're never going to talk about speed, except maybe you can find some tutorials on YouTube. I know you can because I've already watched a few that'll help you with your speed, but we won't talk about speed here because I'm not fast, and I'm not going to get into something where I'm going to get embarrassed. Okay, that's all I wanted to talk about today, folks. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please like the channel if you like what you saw, and share it. I need to get my hours of views up. I've got the subscribers coming. They're coming steadily, but y'all need to watch the videos more, or share it so other people will watch it. I need to get the hours up. Okay, that's all I needed to say. Y'all have a good one, and thanks for watching. Bye.